If you think your life is hard, try surviving in a world where a sword is heavier than your head, and your neighbors might decide you're the main course at a feast. Oh, wait. Wrong? Just the tribal banquet. But I survived on now, I'll tell you how. With all the flavor of iron, mud, and a pinch of laughter. My name is Boro. Sounds cool, right? But apparently it means the one who trips over a cat. My parents had a sense of humor. I was born in a small settlement where everyone knows everyone, and even the village cat knows what you'll bring from the forest tomorrow. Childhood was simple, running between huts, occasionally singeing my hair at the forge, and teasing the priest because he constantly tries to predict the weather really. Father, if you can't predict where your dog is, how do you know if it will rain? I spent my days watching warriors train with wooden swords. Sometimes I fell flat on my face, sometimes on my friends. The women taught me how to cook and weave, although mostly I just made a mess. The priest performed rituals to appease the gods, and I secretly swapped offerings for berries whenever he wasn't looking. Merchants would arrive with strange metals, spices, and stories from faraway lands. My first taste of a world bigger than our village. I tried to make my first spear once. It turned out so crooked that even the village dog refused to carry it. But it was mine. I remember the first harvest festival. The smell of fresh bread. The chaos of the market. Children chasing chickens. It was overwhelming and thrilling all at once. By the time I turned 12, I was no longer just a boy chasing chickens. I was my father's apprentice. My hands smelled like smoke. My hair like forge fire. And my clothes, well, like someone who hadn't seen water in days. My father was a blacksmith, and he treated me less like a child and more like a half-built sword, something to be shaped, heated, and occasionally hit with a hammer. At first, I hated the weight of the tools. Then, I loved it. There's something powerful about shaping iron, about hearing it sing when the hammer strikes. Our town was noisy, messy, and full of life. Merchants yelled over each other like roosters in a fight. Kids ran barefoot through the mud, and chickens somehow managed to escape everything. My best friend Taran dreamed of becoming a warrior. Every morning he trained by swinging a wooden sword at my head. I didn't dream of being a warrior, but apparently my forehead did. Religious ceremonies were also part of life. The priest climbed the hill, waved his sacred stick, mumbled something nobody understood, and everyone cheered. For me, the best part was the free bread and ale afterward. I was a very devoted believer when food was involved. And of course Elira, the baker's daughter. She smelled like honey bread and disaster every time she smiled at me. I forgot how legs worked. Once, I forged a perfect sword to impress her. It fell on my foot. She laughed. I limped for 2 weeks. Love hurts. Literally. Those years felt like the world was ours. We were young, loud, a bit stupid, and it was glorious. When we were young, war was just a story the old men told to scare us into behaving. You know, eat your porridge, or the northern raiders will come and steal your goats. Well, one day, they actually did. The first time I heard the war horn, I thought it was Taran playing another stupid prank. But then came the shouting, the clashing, the smoke rising over the walls. It wasn't a story anymore. It was real, and it smelled like burning wood and fear. I wasn't a warrior. I was a blacksmith. But in war, nobody asks what you were. I picked up one of my own blades, the same kind I used to polish like a piece of art. And suddenly, it was the only thing between me and death. Taran was already out there, swinging his sword like the hero he always wanted to be. I'll never forget the way he looked. Fearless, or maybe just too stupid to be scared. Probably bought. The battle was chaos. Screams, steel, fire, mud. It's strange how the world can shrink to the space of one breath, one step, one swing of a sword. When the dust settled, the city wasn't the same. Neither were we. Some friends didn't come back. Some came back, but left parts of themselves behind. I came back with a few scars, and a much deeper understanding of how fragile everything really is. After the war, life tried to go back to normal. Merchants shouting again, kids laughing in the mud, priests mumbling their holy words, but nothing truly goes back. People carry the war in their eyes. So did I. Taryn became a captain. I went back to the forge, and Lyra, well, she married me, broken toe and all. We built a life in the shadow of fire and steel. Not the perfect life, but a real one. And now, as my beard turns gray and my hammer feels heavier, I sit here and watch the next generation chase chickens like I once did. They laugh. They dream. They believe war is just a story. I hope it stays that way for them. But if it doesn't, I hope they'll be braver than I ever was. And if anyone ever tells my story, I hope they remember not just the battles and the fire, but the boy who once believed the world was his.